Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. I am Nikun Goyal, the trainer and instructor from the Networkers Home, and today we are going to discuss our firewall lab setup practical. Okay, whatever we discussed in the last session, from that we'll continue here. So you can see guys, again our topology is ready and on, and whatever the setup we done in the last video, like we configured the 3 interface with the 3 interface IP and layer 3 and 3 zone. Okay, in that if you notice, while we committing, there is a notification for virtual router, so that will fulfill today. So you can see here left side, you can see the virtual routers, and by default you have one ready-made default virtual router for the configuration. Now we can add here. Before I show you this, just try to understand guys, what is a virtual router. So remember, in the firewall Palo Alto, there is a multiple interface we have, and we are able to create a multiple zone, not only 3 zone. Minimum thing like what? Every company have a private LAN zone, public WAN zone, and one server zone DMZ. But maybe company have a multiple different inside network and they want to keep it separate. So maybe one LAN zone for the server and one LAN zone for the regular user. Maybe company have a multiple server for public. Then also they will find one DMZ zone for web server, one DMZ zone for FTP or other kind of things. And maybe company have a public IP for the redundancy, like multiple ISP. Then also you can keep in the WAN zone, but 2 different WAN zone. So there are multiple possibilities as a real scenario and different company and topology. So what you need to understand, that which LAN zone interface can communicate which WAN zone interface or which DMZ zone interface. So in the topology, if you notice here, right now we have one. Okay. But just for experiment purpose, if I just guide you here, then you can see. Suppose here we have another DMZ zone. Sorry. For the experiment purpose, if I guide you here, then suppose here we have another LAN zone that is for the private server. Suppose here we have another DMZ zone for another public server, and we have another WAN zone for public IP for the redundancy. Now in this case, suppose if we want that this LAN interface only use this public internet, not this, then we can merge these 2 interfaces in one virtual router and will not keep this in the same. Suppose we want that this LAN interface only able to access this DMZ zone server, not this. Then again we'll keep this interface in same virtual router. This is not in the same, different virtual router. So that how for dividing the communication, we have the virtual router concept. Right now this whole thing we have one. So I will keep this all interface in same virtual router. Later again we'll make this topology bigger. So I will attach another zone and we'll make it another virtual router. Okay. So come back to the firewall dashboard. And here you can see in the network, I will click on add now. So it is giving asking for the name. So here I need to give a normal name. Let's say this is our HO. So I'm using here HO and then virtual router. Okay, this is my name, and then inside that you can see here it is asking for interface which you want to add. So whatever interface you want that can communicate each other. Okay, not only interface guys, this entire network, this network and this network or this zone, whatever you want to communicate each other, that you can add here. In our topology, we have 1/1, 1/2 and 1/3. That all I attach. And okay. So that is guys, here your virtual router is ready and you can see this interface. Now if you remember in the beginning, when I start the interface and when you see the screen, this part is none. Okay, so here that HO virtual router is visible, and if you remember when I click on the any interface configuration, I show you that there is a 2 option, security zone, and what I told you that virtual router will discuss in the next video, so that I am doing here. So either you can attach the virtual router from here, you can see the default also and what we create here also. Either you can attach that way, that go to the interface and attach virtual router, or we create the virtual router and then attach interface. Both way it will work. Any one thing you need to follow. Okay. And then second thing, what we want to require here? Management profile. So now one important thing, guys, you need to remember that according to Palo Alto Firewall, whatever the data interface, in that no any single service running. You need to remember that whatever service your firewall want to provide from data interface, you need to make a separate interface management profile. Inside that you need to attach the service, and then it will able to provide that service. Otherwise, by default, all services are disabled in the interface profile. So you can see in the topology, we have here 1/1, 1/2, 1/3. This data interface I'm talking, guys, not the management interface. Okay, management interface have by default service running, which is HTTPS, so that we are right now accessing the Palo Alto Firewall. Then we have the SSH, so that we can access the firewall from the remote service, okay, securely. And third is ping service. That three service starting on the management by default, but there are no any service in the data interface. And so that we are going to start some service, so I can check the connection. So in this Palo Alto Firewall, if you are in the network segment only, just go little bit downside in the left panel, and you can see here network profile. Inside that you can see interface management, and this you can see right now empty, and you can see all services are here. Right now no any single default profile, and that's why no any service running. So I'm creating here, we'll create here 3 separate profile for each interface. Okay, so let's say LAN interface profile. And you can see if you want that someone can manage the firewall from LAN side, then in this interface you can start this administrative service, HTTPS or SSH or Telnet HTTP. But generally I will not suggest as a security purpose that wherever the admin, they can have access of management interface, and via management interface they can manage. So this service I will not suggest to start, but still there are some exception and rare case where you want as a backup, then you are allowing any one IP or one interface to run this service. Otherwise, as a networking, I will suggest that whatever in your topology LAN side, they can check the connectivity and everything with the firewall. At least ping service allow. Other is again depend on your requirement. Right now I'm just starting ping service, and that I will do for the all other. So I will create the DMZ interface profile, ping service, and WAN interface profile, ping service. So we create the 3 network profile, guys. And now what? Come back to the interface. This section you can see right now empty. Let's go to the interface. This 1/1 is our LAN side. In the last advanced option, we discussed this normal option, configure and everything. Advanced. Here what you find? That profile what you created. So LAN interface profile, okay. 1/2 our WAN side. Advanced. WAN interface profile. And 1/3 is our DMZ. Advanced. DMZ. So you can see, guys, LAN, WAN, DMZ, LAN, WAN, DMZ. That way we configure this. So now from our firewall side, everything ready to set up the topology. If you remember my first video where I told you that it's not like just take the blank firewall and directly attach in the topology, because there is a downtime. If you directly attach the firewall, there is no configuration, your topology down. So in real scenario also what? First they ready the firewall, and then they will start the topology and attach that. So till now we done that same thing only. In this firewall I configure the all interface with the appropriate zone, with the appropriate interface, and with the appropriate interface profile, so that we are able to check the connect and everything. In next video we'll start this other device, we'll configure that, and I will show you the real scenario topology. In this video, that's it from my side. This is Nikunn Goyal signing off.